Well guys, the dog days of summer are here again. It is very warm outside. What's the temperature outside? It is currently 91 degrees outside, but nevertheless I thought it'd be a good day to try and film another episode of Exploring New Water. For those of you that are not familiar with this show, this is basically where I take you guys along with me as we explore a new body of water. Could be a creek, could be a pond, whatever. This could be an utter disaster. We might not catch anything at all, or we could find a gem of a spot. Like I said, I'm gonna take you guys with me, and hopefully you get to see the full experience. So where am I fishing today, you might ask? Well, I am going to fish a duck pond. A couple of weeks ago, I was working in an area that I noticed had a public park with a nice little duck pond in it. Granted, I don't know how good the fishing is gonna be, but today we're gonna find out. Let's go. One of the things I try to do when I'm out and about, whether I'm working, maybe I'm going to town, maybe I'm going out to eat, maybe I'm traveling, whatever, I always try to keep my eye open for potential new fishing locations. I found that a lot of times the most unlikely places can sometimes yield amazing results. Like with this park and this duck pond, I grew up living in this area, frequenting this area a lot, and I never knew that this park existed until I got a little bit off the beaten path and found it the other day. Like I said in the start of the video, it is warm today, about 91 degrees, but we have some cloud cover. It looks like it might move in. We might get a little bit of thunder showers this evening, so hopefully that'll help improve the fishing. We'll have to see what happens. Right guys, just got to the place here, this nice little duck pond, but look at that. You see that? No fishing. Well guys, I'm not gonna lie, that stinks a lot. I drove about half an hour to get to this spot and I apparently can't fish here, so have to try and come up with another plan really quick. Alright guys, so like I mentioned, the original spot I was going to fish today, turns out you're not allowed to fish there. There was a sign there that said no fishing. I'm a firm believer that if there's a sign or there's rules that state that you're not allowed to fish in a certain area, you don't fish in a certain area. It's not rocket science. If you do choose to break the laws and trespass and fish where you're not supposed to fish, it gives anglers a bad name. So like I said, I had to come up with a plan B. I didn't want to waste this trip, so I came to another duck pond in another public park. Now, I do have some history at this duck pond, but not a lot. I used to come here way back in like 2009, 2010 with my church for picnics. My church would a lot of times have picnics right beside this pond that I remember as a young kid walking around the pond and looking at all the bass in the pond. I remember the bass were so tame, we'd feed them bread. I even tried to feed one a carrot one time. It didn't like it and it spit it out. I've only fished this pond like twice in my entire life, and that was a number of years ago, like I said. As I recall from those fishing trips, I did catch, I think, one bass, but that was about it. I didn't do very well here. Hopefully the fishing has improved and not gone downhill, but there's only one way to find out. Let's go check it out. Alrighty guys, so here is the pond. As you can see, there is quite a bit of vegetation on it. We have a lot right in there in that corner, and there's a lot of subsurface vegetation as well. So I'm just going to start off throwing this tiny little popper, and the reason why I'm throwing a popper is because it's a fairly fast moving bait, and this is basically just a way for me to gauge how active the fish are in this pond. Are they pressured? Are they going to want something slow? Are they going to want something fast? Are they even willing to bite at all? I'm seeing a lot of bluegill around the shore, so like I said, I'm just going to throw this little popper around, see if anything bites it, and then from there I can kind of gauge what the fish want. I remember back in the day I used to walk around this pond and I would see fish, you know, 2-3 pounders in here. But like I said, I haven't fished here in a couple years, so I do not know what the fishing is like, if it's even any good. So we'll have to see once. I'm definitely getting a lot of hits from bluegill, but no real bass hits yet. Well, so far I am not getting any significant hits. So I'm going to switch up to an old favorite of mine, the classic small wacky rig right here. Little yum dinger. If they don't bite this, I don't know what they'll bite. I'm going to try something a little unorthodox. I'm going to drop this wacky worm right down in that hole. See if there's anything down there eating. If I was a bass, I'd be hiding up in this thick stuff, especially on a day like today when it's really warm. Got him. Yep, right there. That was awesome. Boom. Like I said, I just dropped that bait right down through those weeds and I saw that fish flash on this bait. Not a huge fish, That's a good sign. It means there's fish in here. Well, people definitely do fish here. I was see there's an empty can of worms over there, and I saw some other trash that would indicate so. There we go, fish. Wow, feels like a better fish too. Boom, that bait just hit the water. Feels like a good fish. Oh yeah, that's a better fish. Right there. It's a nice healthy bass. Oh, barely hooked him too. Boom, guys, nice healthy fish. Probably go about a pound. Beautiful, hammered the worm. I'm getting a feeling this place is actually pretty decent. I've already caught 2 bass. So far it's looking good. That was crazy. As soon as the bait hit the water, he was on. I thought I had a weed for a second. That fish was extremely aggressive, and it was a decent size too. There's a bass right there, I see him. Not a very big one, but it's a bass. Hit it, dude. Got him. Oh, that was sick. I saw that fish swimming by, threw the bait right in front of him, he just choked it. Oh, that's a good one too. It's another good pounder, I'd say. Man, this is a gem of a spot. I did not think the fishing was going to be this good, honestly. That was super cool. That fish is super aggressive. Boom, about the same size as the last one. Nothing huge yet, but we're catching fish, and we're catching a decent amount. And it seems like they're in a willing mood to bite. That's always a great thing. There's got to be some big fish in here. I wonder if there's any fish in this. How deep is this? Is there a bass in here? That's pretty deep, dude. That is a pretty deep little canal. If I was a bass, I'd be hanging up on this thing. Water here is pretty clear as well. There's a bass right there. Looks like a good fish too. That's a good bass. Looks bigger than the other one. Come on, dude, hit it. Hit it, nope. Where'd that bass go? He was right in there. Oh, there he is. He's circling it, he's circling it, circling it. Come on, dude. He's looking at it, he's looking at it, he's looking at it. Come on, bro. That looks like a better fish from what I can see. There we go. He's not, look at him. There's one. I got something. There's a bass. Not the one I was trying to catch, another one. Snuck in and grabbed it. Hey, watch it. Well, thanks a lot, bro. I'm trying to catch the big one. Go back. That was a good fish. He was a little bit suspicious of that worm. He didn't quite like it. I'm gonna sneak up here and so I can get him to bite again. Hey, that worm flew off. Oh boy, worm flew off. Got it. It's like the only wacky worm I have left, so I gotta, gotta take care of it. Okay, there's something feeding over there. Something going nuts. What was that? Of course, like as soon as the fish is blowing up by the shore, I get a tangle. Of course, that happens because it's just fishing logic. Whenever you need to make a cast, you always have a tangle. I'm gonna toss my worm over there and see what was making that noise. There's got to be something over there. Something blew up over here and then it's gone. Phantom fish, apparently. What? There was something right there. What the Sam was that? Oh, there's the bass right there. I see him. That was the buddy. No, let go. There was a big old bass up in here. He did not seem like he was in the mood to bite. That was a really good fish. He vanished. Like a phantom. Ridiculous. Crazy. There we go. There's one. Well, that's a good one. That is a good fish. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. As soon as that bait hit the water, he was on it like a flash. Well guys, so far the biggest fish I've caught today. Nice little chunk, probably about a pound. Smoked that worm. I tell you what, these fish are super aggressive. As soon as that bait hit the water, he was on it. So far the fishing seems pretty decent. Let's keep going and see if we can catch something bigger. The ducks here are extremely friendly and extremely cute. Well guys, that was another great fish catch. These fish fight extremely hard, let me tell you what. And what's really interesting about this is most of the fish I've hooked and caught have been within like 2 seconds of the bait hitting the water. Like as soon as the bait hits the water, it seems like the aggressive ones just gobble it up. But it's kind of weird because there's been some other ones that I've, you know, thrown in front of them and they haven't even looked at it. So definitely interesting. There we go. There's a fish. Like what I'm saying, like as soon as the bait hits the water, they're on. This feels like a good one. As soon as the bait hits the water, they're on. Not a big one. About the average size I've been catching out of here. It's like every other fish in this lake is super aggressive except that stupid fish right over there that won't bite anything. There's one. Not a big one. Another tiny little fish. And I think that is gonna be my last fish of the day. Right there. See you, bud. Well guys, I just wrapped up fishing for the day and I'm about ready to head home. I just kind of wanted to recap on this fishing trip. I gotta say, this pond definitely had some great fish in it. I did not expect the fishing to be this good. It turns out there was a decent amount of bass in here. They're very aggressive, and there's actually some decent size to them. I was afraid I was only going to catch, you know, like 1-pounders, but I caught some decent fish for a place like this. Despite there being other people that fish here, the fishing is still great, and I found a nice little gem of a spot. I want to come back here in the fall, maybe next spring, and fish again. When there's not so many weeds, I think it'd be a little bit easier to fish. But overall, I'd say this trip was a success, despite kind of the rocky start. I did find a decent body of water that has some decent fishing in it, and that is always a win. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of this series where I go explore new water or places I haven't fished in a long time, be sure to let me know down in the comments below and drop a like on this video if you indeed liked it. If you guys want to see more videos come up from the channel, you can subscribe right here, and if you want to check out my last video, you can do so right here. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay hooked. I'll see you later.